You know, one thing I've really learned the last year and a half being on social media, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and talking about alcohol use disorder and how it affects the family, the individual, and really society in general, because my wife of 25 years passed away from alcohol use disorder a little over 5 years ago. And the competition and the awareness that I try to create through her, through her memoir and through my coaching program and through the app that's coming out and my, international, speaking all over the world about this subject, is the competition. And the competition is the people that you grow up with. It's the family culture that you grow up in. It's the fact that your parents drank, your grandparents drank, your sister, your brothers, maybe the environment that you grew up in. You grew up in a culture where everybody drank. That's the competition. That's the normalcy. Or the peer pressure. You're in high school and everybody drinks. Why aren't you? It's really the only product in the world that you're weird if you don't partake in it, even though it's a class 1 carcinogen. It's literally poison that will break down your body and your mind. And yet it's unacceptable not to partake in the process of doing so. Now, the vast majority of people will not have a problem with alcohol. They grow out of it through peer pressure by the time they get in their college years, early 20s. They have families, they have careers, and they move on from it. But there is a segment of the population who does get stuck in the rut of alcohol use disorder. They get stuck in the dependency of alcohol, or they're overcoming their emotions, their anxiety, their stress, their depression, and a plethora of other things. But understanding that is so key. It's just amazing to me the competition that I'm up against in creating awareness for this disease. And again, real quick, I have a coaching program. It's really designed to help both the alcoholic and the family. It really centers on the alcoholic, but it's a family disease. Set up a breakthrough call. Takes about 45 minutes. We're going to do a deep dive into what's going on with you and your family. The call is free. The course is not. I'm looking for people who are ready to reinvent themselves, change their life, and change the trajectory of their life and their family's life. Set up a call. And I think the real issue here is that so many people don't realize that they even have a problem. It's not that they're in denial, but they're so culturally tuned into drinking is normalized, grabbing that bottle of wine at the end of the day, grabbing that 6-pack, that 12-pack, that case of beer at the end of the day. It's so ingrained into who they are that they don't even realize they have a problem. It's like, what are you talking about? This is my identity. I mean, and that's even a bigger problem when it's become your identity to drink on a regular basis. That's a problem, because you're going to have weight gain. You're going to have just the hangovers that you have to deal on a regular basis. And someone needs to step in and say that, that's not normal. That's not okay. It's not okay to, consume alcohol on a regular basis, or binge drinking on an irregular basis. It's not okay for it to become a reward system, or to just assume that it's going to be part of every holiday that exists in your life. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, Cinco de Mayo, January 1st. Hey, let's drink. I mean, there's always an excuse. And just be aware of that constant pounding of the normalcy of drinking in your life. If it is a problem, you need to think about avoiding it. You need to think about moving on from that and making changes in your life. I hope you have the ability to do that before it starts affecting you physically and mentally, because it will affect your brain, and it will definitely break down your body. You'll gain weight. It'll affect not just your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, your intestinal tract, your esophagus, and the worst part is it'll affect your brain. There's a thing called Wernicke-Korsakoff. I mean, you can actually start having forms of dementia in your 30s and 40s. Very, very scary place to be. And so many people think, well, it won't happen to me. Those people are worse off than me. I mean, I'm fine. And this is how it starts. This brings up a perfect subject. If you hear things like excuse-itis coming out of your mouth, well, everybody does it. I mean, my friends all drink. Why can't I just have a good time? Don't take that away from me. I mean, life is hard. Why take that away from me? Well, because it's not really life. You're not living if you're drinking. You're covering up your actual life by drinking. You're covering up your emotions. Why not face the problems that you're having and grow from them? Become a better human being. Become a better productive human being. have better relationships in your life, and you're certainly going to have better, healthier, longer, happier life if you eradicate alcohol from your life, if it's a problem. I mean, if you do have alcohol use disorder, or if you're going down that road. If it's, those people are worse than me. I'm not the one with the problem. If you're hearing yourself say that, or, life is tough, you're rationalizing things. If you start saying rationalizations, look in the mirror. It's time to look in the mirror. And if you have other rationalizations like, I hold a job, I pay my bills, I run the family, I'm doing fine, and everybody's supporting you because maybe you're the breadwinner. That's a double-edged sword, because they have no other choice other than being the sycophants in your life. They have to be the yes men because you're supporting the family. If you have a wife or whatever the situation is, you have kids. But that's going to break down. It's going to break down. It's dysfunctional, and it's not a good family structure. Our children do what we do. They don't do what we say. And if you're drinking because your grandfather drank, your father drank, your kids are going to drink, and they're going to deal with the same issues that you are. Why not nip this thing in the bud? End it. End the generational curse in your life. Think about it. And really, to focus on the excuses, the real problem is that there's so much competition. I'll go back to that word on supporting drinking. The people in your life are like, well, come on, come with us. Come with us, have a drink with us. When you go have dinner, the first thing the waitress says, would you like a glass of wine? Would you like a glass of beer? It's almost forced upon us. You watch any social media. There's beer ads, wine ads, liquor ads everywhere. It's supported, to us by children. Our the rite of passage, becoming an adult, drinking is all part of that, and it's just supported from birth almost. Drinking, we see the people in our life drink, and we can't wait to grow up and be able to drink as well. And then we're exposed to it a lot of times. This is the reason why people have problems with it. They're exposed to it at a very early age. Maybe they have that first drink because an uncle, gives them a sip of beer at 11 or 12 years old, and they think it's funny. It's not. It's like supporting the normalcy of drinking, and these kind of activities, they have to be made aware of, and they really, really got to stop. Just having a liquor cabinet in your house, and you have children in your house, that alone is a huge statement. Think about hiding it. Think about not really having it around as much. I would suggest not having huge collections of wine and huge collections of liquor in your house, because it only supports the behavior, and children see that. Have that stuff when the kids are grown up. I'm not telling you what you need to do, but I'm just, be aware of it. Be aware of that influence on your lineage. And I hope that makes sense. And I think another real problem that people have is, even if they are aware that they have a problem, they don't know what to do about it, and you're not really going to be successful fixing yourself by yourself. It makes about as much sense as if you're having heart disease and you need a heart replacement and doing surgery on yourself. You might be able to fix it for a short term. You might be able to stop drinking out of willpower for maybe 30 or 60 or 90 days, maybe, but it's not sustainable because you haven't worked on the why you're drinking to begin with. And this is something that really you have to focus on. The alcohol really isn't even the problem. The problem is why you're drinking to begin with. You're physically dependent, you're emotionally dependent, you're covering up emotions, guilt, stress, anxiety, depression, and a plethora of other problems. And then there's the people that have dual issues, people that have that are bipolar, PTSD, or schizophrenia, or maybe they have some form of a spectrum of autism. There's all kinds of mental maladies that cause someone to drink. They might have a physical disability or some other mental disability. You have to work on that first. Okay, you have to solve the issue of why you're drinking, and this is why people go down this road. And then it's supported with family culture and peer pressure, and we haven't even got into trauma yet, but there's always lots of different reasons why people begin to drink. The vast majority of people start their alcohol career between the ages of 13 and 20, the vast majority. It's very rare for someone to start drinking or having a drinking problem later in life, unless they have maybe some kind of trauma or surgery, like maybe a bariatric surgery. But normally, most people start in their teen years. That's the vast majority of people, because that's when they're most impressionable, and that's really before the age of 25, when our brains are not developed as full adults until the age of 25. A lot of people don't understand that. So we're very impressionable, and we're kind of like floating around, gathering everything that's in our culture and becoming that. Very important to be aware of that. And then there's, many different things that can happen as far as trauma. Trauma is a big cause for many people, certainly in childhood. Maybe they could have, physical altercations, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. That can happen at any point in life, and that can definitely be a catalyst of why someone's drinking. Maybe they had a bad accident. Maybe someone important, a key member of their life died, a key family member died, and it sets them off in a course of depression. It's very, very sad when that happens. It's especially sad when it's already set up. When you grow up in a culture where it's normalized and then you have trauma, it's almost weird if you don't go down the path of alcohol use disorder. I mean, you've been set up. You've been set up like a bowling pin. Maybe you have a genetic disposition mixed with family culture, tack on some trauma, and you're caught in the web of alcohol use disorder. Recognizing that you have that problem is very difficult, because it's become the environment that you've grown up in, it's become the culture that you've grown up in, and it's supported by friends and family and normalized. And they're not going to complain to you because they understand that you've had this trauma and you're drinking to cover that up, and they might even support that. Hey, maybe you think it relaxes you, or it takes you away from that particular trauma. That's the exact opposite of what you should be doing. And if anybody gives you words of wisdom, is you're never going to get over trauma until you face it with counseling, therapy, and an understanding of why it happened, and an understanding that it highly likely was not your fault to begin with, and it's not something that you could have prevented. You can't have that. You can't carry that guilt with through your life. You can't. And if I leave you with anything, it's this: the best way to get over trauma or bad things that happen to good people, bad things that happen in your life, is to be successful with your life. Because the people that we lose and the trauma that we have, be successful. That's the best revenge. Have the best life, have the happiest life, the healthiest life, the most productive life, and be an influence, a positive influence on the people in your life, your family, your friends, your children, your significant others. That's the best revenge. And I'll leave you with that. And I hope this video helped. And again, if you want to learn about all the pitfalls and horrors of this disease, you can find them right in Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. Again, it's the memoir of my wife's 25-year decline with this disease. Link is in the link tree on this page. You can find it on my website. There's also an international link. The book is available anywhere in the world. It's also available on Amazon. The ebook you can find on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and the Apple website. And again, thanks so much for listening.